guys, we're here with the Magic Shears Travel again, and if you were watching the last couple minutes of our video, we just realized that there were some sound issues. So we're not really sure why that happened. We did get a new external microphone that we tested out and was working fine, but apparently it's not working fine now. So we're just going to take another quick minute to sync up here, and we'll go through our introductions again real quick, and we'll get on the with the show.
So that's another thing we have to check for.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to go ahead and do your introductions? And while I'm doing the technical thing here. And
I'm Amy, and special guest.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Ben.
I'm back. I was not here last week because I had literally just gotten home from work. So, but there were plenty of other people that week, so you're good. You're good.
And I'm Holly. So, and of course, real quick again, if you want to get in touch with any of us, it is our first name at themagics with an S, yours with an S.com. And you can always check out our website. We have sound now?
Yep,
we have sound. Hi, guys. So you can always check out our website at www.themagicsyours.com.
Hi, Howard. Hi, Becky.
So we've got some folks back with us again. Thanks for hanging in there with us, guys, because, I mean, it was literally like 15 minutes of you
very handsome.
Watching our
They were probably just enjoying watching me.
So let's go ahead and we'll rerun the news for you. Since we had a first take, we'll...
Melissa, hello.
All right, we got some folks joining us now that they can hear us, right?
Oh, someone remembered where the like button was. Awesome. All right.
All right, so kicking off the news, we're going to let Amy take the first top story tonight, which is
top story is
exciting.
One week from today. We will be able to view Beauty and the Beast, and I'm so excited.
Yeah. Of course,
I'll be knocking down the door.
You might be able to see it Thursday night, because
yes.
if they do the midnight showing, like, light
except it'll be at like 7 o'clock.
Right, 7 and 10 usually is where our
7 and 10. So. Although, if you're local to Hanover, they have winter hours, so they are not doing a 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock showing.
Oh, that's right.
All their showings start before 8. So they'll do like a 7 and a 7:30. So just keep that in mind.
Yep, that is correct. But that would be a good way to catch it early.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
And thank you to those of you who notified us about the sound, so we could restart and not just waste the whole show. So. Also, in the same vein with the Beauty and the Beast, we wanted to jump back quick to the itineraries that we talked about last week, including the Adventures by Disney River Cruise itineraries that were released. If you're a big Beauty and the Beast fan, you might want to consider checking out these itineraries because they are adding some Beauty and the Beast flair to an already awesome Rhine River Cruise itinerary that goes through Switzerland, France, and ends in Amsterdam. I think the highlight of that Beauty and the Beast infusion, for lack of a better word, was that they're doing a Beauty and the Beast chocolate making class. Oh. I know, right? So you have to learn how to make chocolate, and it's somehow Beauty and the Beast themed. I don't know, maybe Belle makes the chocolate with you. I'm not really sure.
Speaking of Beauty and the Beast, I've just been informed that Leah is also watching, so thank you, Leah, for tuning in.
Are they watching together?
I guess they're watching together, so...
I gave her a hard time one night. I said, Howard watched this and you didn't. So, also released last week with the Rhine River Cruise itineraries were the Danube River Cruise itineraries. There are no other Adventures by Disney itineraries out for 2018 except for like the January, February. They're starting to release those for the Disneyland trip. So, but if you're interested in a river cruise and you're debating between that and Disney Cruise Line, you can at least see the difference in prices and availability for those items. And over the summer, on most of the summer itineraries, they are offering $500 off of each adult and $1,000 off of each child on those Rhine and Danube cruise itineraries. So really fantastic pricing to go to Europe, really awesome itineraries on those cruises. So just get in touch with us if you're interested in doing those because they really look amazing.
Melissa is here. I don't know if we shouted out to her or not, but
I think we did.
Okay, well, she commented, but it doesn't hurt because Melissa's awesome. Yeah. So.
Also released last week were the Disney Cruise Line itineraries for May through September. Now, all of September is not necessarily out yet. When they do September through December, there will probably be additional. There's no transatlantic coming back in September yet, and there will be because they have to get the boats back. So they need to use them in the Caribbean over the winter. So they're coming back, but there's no announcement as far as what that itinerary will be. The eastbound transatlantic is available. And one of the other cruises that really caught my eye, unfortunately timing-wise it just doesn't quite work for us, is a 7-night British Isles cruise. It's the first time that Disney Cruise Line is visiting Cork and Dublin in the same itinerary, and also visiting several UK stops. So some pretty cool itineraries. That will leave September 2nd. So if you have some availability to travel in September, that looks like a really cool trip. And I think that, I don't remember what the pricing was offhand, but I remember looking at it and thinking, wow, that's reasonable for what it entails. I mean, versus Alaska, versus the pricing on Alaska for this year, like, the British Isles cruise looks amazing for a fraction of the price. So, let's see, we have some other movie news this week. Unfortunately, most of our news is movie news this week because not a lot happened at the parks, because every week can't be Banner Week.
What's that movie news?
Do you want to tell the nice people the lovely surprise you brought home for me on Tuesday?
Oh yeah, Moana is out on DVD and Blu-ray and all that good stuff. It was actually, if you got it digitally downloaded, I think you could get it like a week and a half before. But now you can go out and buy your own copy.
There's nothing like the physical DVD though.
And Holly watched it the very night I brought it home.
Sure did. And
but did you sing the "You're Welcome" song to Holly?
I sing it all the time.
Oh, Ben sings it daily. Yeah.
It might be on the CD that's queued up in my car right now.
Likewise.
Yeah. Hi, Aunt Linda.
I love that song.
Let's see. Oh, our other movie news was that was related to the parks, in that Avatar has been pushed back from 2018 to 2019. So Avatar Land will open well in advance of Avatar 2, which apparently there are some spoilers in Avatar Land.
That's what I've heard. I didn't look them up because.
So if you don't want spoilers, I guess you should not go to Avatar Land until after the movie comes out. But I don't think
you don't want to do that.
And I mean, most people probably don't care, right?
Yeah.
I would go to Avatar Land and not really care about it.
That's not really a big stretch. You haven't seen the first Avatar.
That's true. So
everything's
all
a
going to be a
spoiler.
spoiler. There is a lot of footage floating out there on the interwebs. If you YouTube Avatar Land, you can see lots of different things as far as behind the scenes looks with Joe Rohde and with
James Cameron.
James Cameron. I got Kirk Cameron in my head.
The
But
boat
that's
sinks
not
at
the
the
one.
end.
That's not the one. Wrong Cameron. So James
Kirk
Cameron.
Candace Cameron.
No, they're the wrong Camerons. So James Cameron and Joe Rohde have both done some behind the scenes footage, and
actually, well, I didn't mention it the first go around. So James Cameron took Whoopi Goldberg on the one-on-one personal tour of Avatar Land during Thursday's episode of The View this week. So if anybody can go back and watch
in your DVR and
yes,
grab that.
Or what's it called?
TiVo.
Yeah, you can go back and look at the videos. I forget. Anyway,
I don't know.
But anyway, The View was broadcasting from Walt Disney World all week, and so I watched Thursdays and Fridays episodes. I recorded them, and it's pretty awesome.
Hi, Leah, officially.
They were broadcasting right in front of the Tree of Life.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, they were with I saw a picture online with them with a bunch of performers from Festival of the Lion King in front of the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty neat looking.
Yeah, and for anybody who has ever visited Disney World with me, I get very emotional. And today, watching The View, I was crying like a baby because all the characters were on stage dancing, and it was just awesome. I don't know if I was just crying because I wished I was there, or I just get emotional. It was fun.
Sean just joined us. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, that's last time. So.
Shanghai Disney.
Shanghai Disney. Yes. Did we not talk about that on take 2?
Did we?
Did we talk about it on take 1?
Should I go back and watch?
Okay, just in case we didn't bring this up yet.
This is what happens when you do the news segment twice.
Right. So Shanghai Disney is preparing. They're on about 8 million guests right now, and they are on target to hit 10 million guests by their first anniversary. So, as Ben pointed out, this is only 1% of China's population, but nevertheless, 10 million guests at a Disney park in the first year is definitely has to be some sort of record-breaking attendance. So, congratulations, Shanghai, on being on pace to hit that milestone, and hopefully that will continue. So. And then we have our last news item is actually some agency news. We have dates for our Run Disney event. If you haven't heard about this before, what we're doing, we're going to get together, and the agency is going to do the Run Disney Shorts series. And that's a series of virtual running shorts. You're supposed to run one race in June, one in July, and one in August on your own. And you register at rundisney.com, pay your fee, and then you submit to them when you've done your run, and they send you a medal. They send all the medals at the end, so you're not going to get one in June, one in July, and one in August. If you sign up for the June race only, you'll get your medal in August when all the races have completed. Well, I guess probably in September when all the races have completed. You can win one medal for June, one for July, one for August, and then one completer medal. And we think this year's theme is Pluto, based on some of the evidence that we've seen. Last year's theme was Mickey. So the first medal you won was his glove. The second was his shoe. The third was his shorts. I might have those out of order. And then the last medal was actually a complete Mickey. So it's kind of cute because you can win the parts of the character. I don't know how they're going to do Pluto. That's a little scary. And then you win the character as a whole at the end. So anyway, we're going to do this, and we're inviting anybody who enjoys watching our posts or visits our page to come out and join us. You're welcome to register with Run Disney if you like. If you want to just come out and run or walk with us, that's fine too. We're going to be in York doing these, York, Pennsylvania, not York, United Kingdom. Or another, I guess there are probably other Yorks somewhere. I don't know, maybe somebody's watching us from California or something. So anyway, they're going to be in York, and our dates are going to be June 10th, July 22nd, and August 12th. And all of the races are going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning because it's summer and it's hot and we don't like the sun. So we're going to run them before it gets too hot. We don't have a confirmed venue yet. We've been tossing around a couple of ideas with the team, but we don't have 100% confirmation on that yet. So we'll release that information when it becomes 100%. So once again, June 12th, June 10th, July 22nd, and August 12th. And also our annual, we do an annual customer appreciation, learn about Disney, come join us, meet us, let's have a picnic kind of thing. That's going to be on June 10th, the same day as one of our races. We're going to do a run in the morning, and then we'll have our picnic from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. And once again, I don't have the venue officially reserved yet, so we'll wait to make that announcement so we don't have false information out there.
And the runs are 5Ks. I don't know.
The runs are 5Ks. Yes, thank you. Yeah, we're not doing any half marathons here.
No.
If you're not familiar with running, if you're still sitting on the couch and you're working on that couch to 5K, it's 3.1 miles. So.
And you don't have to be a runner.
You can walk.
The children can come if you want to push a stroller. That anybody is welcome. You do not have to be a runner.
Our front runner venue right now is a park that has a mile. It's actually a 1.57 mile loop. So we'll actually run that loop 2 times. There's a beautiful playground there for the kids. There's indoor plumbing that's not Jiffy John's. And there's a nice little pavilion area. There's tons of parking. So it's actually a really nice venue to just get out and enjoy the summer morning. So we hope lots of people will come out and enjoy that with us. So.
Hello to Selena, Allison, and Sherry who just joined us. And
Hey,
Becky says that she also gets emotional at Disney stuff now.
Thanks for... Make me feel better, Becky.
And that does it for the news. So I guess we're going to move on to the contemporary, which is our topic for today. And we had a little trouble coming up with some symbolism, things to put on the table today. Because the contemporary is very sleek and very...
austere?
Gray. It doesn't have a lot of character in and of itself on the surface. So coming up with an icon for the contemporary, besides the monorail, which we didn't have any spare monorails sitting around, we had a little trouble. So we went with Cinderella Castle because you can see it from the contemporary from certain floors. And we went with Sorcerer Mickey because of the contemporary's Fantasia gift shop. So, and then we have a little bit of pin fun down here. I don't know how well you can see these, but this is a five-legged goat, which is on the contemporary mural. We'll talk about that in a minute. And this one is of the gingerbread display, which the contemporary is one of the resorts that has the gingerbread at Christmas. So,
if I can interrupt,
Absolutely.
Howard, to answer your question, I do not believe you need to participate in the running in order to participate in the picnicking. So,
correct.
Because I will not be running, and I intend to picnic hard.
they're completely separate events, and they'll actually be at separate locations. So, so absolutely, you can do the run and not do the picnic, and you can do the picnic and not do the run. Those are fine.
Any combination you like.
Yeah, but seriously, come out and run and walk with us. I mean, you can get a medal.
I'm not running. You don't have to. It's okay.
So, the Contemporary Resort, if you haven't seen it in picture or in person, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Do you want to describe the...
I'm not sure how harsh I should be on the Contemporary. I mean, like...
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying about the Contemporary as far as the looks of it, but for me, it's the nostalgia of it is one of the original resorts in Disney World, sorry. And I was watching a documentary of Disney World, imagine that, and they described how the rooms were.
That is neat.
Contemporary. They actually designed the rooms, built the rooms off-site. They built the A-frame that we all know of as the A-frame with little compartments, and when they brought in the room, it came in, and they put it
plug and play
right into the A-frame, and it's just
the original.
It's amazing. Like, who would have ever thought to do that?
Now, there is a rumor going around that they can actually remove those rooms and put new ones in, which that's actually false because they did concrete over the face.
I was going to say, that'd be a good way to get rid of unruly guests, too.
Oh my gosh. There was this short from like maybe the 60s. I remember it being on one of the compilations they did sometime in the 80s, and they pulled like old shorts together. And there was it was a way to pick up people who were bad drivers, and it was a police car, and it had like a fish hook, and it would come out and just hook up the car and put it on and carry it away. And it could be awesome to do that with the Contemporary, right? So, well, of course, the Contemporary's most notable feature is that the monorail runs through.
Yes.
So there's no other resort in Disneyland, even the other two monorail resorts, where the monorail actually runs through the middle of the building. So that in of itself is definitely, a reason to stop and take notice of the Contemporary.
Because when you hear people say it runs through it, you think, okay, it stops outside. No, it is inside the hotel. Mm-hmm. So yes, it is there.
Which is nice if it's raining. It's very, very covered.
This is true.
Yeah. The only problem is that if you're staying at the Contemporary and it does rain and you're at the Magic Kingdom, you're faced with Sophie's Choice.
Oh, yes.
Because when you leave the front gate of the of Magic Kingdom, the monorail is to the right. And it's not really well covered, and you can't just kind of scoot up the ramp. You have to actually physically go straight out and then walk around to get into the resort monorail area. If you start walking to the left, by the time you walk up to the monorail, you've practically walked 3/4 of the way to the Contemporary. So it's almost as fast to just walk in the rain as it is to go get the monorail. So we learned that the hard way.
Yeah. And the Contemporary Hotel is paired with Bay Lake Tower, which is the DVC portion of the hotel. They are connected by a really cool bridge that you get to cross unless it's windy.
Right.
And then they close it.
Because it's not enclosed. So if you, not 100%, obviously it's safe.
Covered. Yeah,
it's covered and there's guardrail and things, but it's a little bit open. So it was kind of like, we were staying at Bay Lake Tower that particular evening, and we got out to the front of Magic Kingdom, and I'm like, well, if we take the monorail, we also have to either walk outside once we get to the Contemporary or walk across the bridge, and it's raining. Or we can just walk to the tower over there. So we ended up schlepping it back in the rain. But, it's definitely, as convenient as it is otherwise. Not a great place to stay when the weather's bad.
And talking about walking from the park to the resort, but from the resort to the park, you're almost better off walking it. Because,
absolutely.
It's about a 20-minute round trip on the monorail because you have several stops before you get back to Magic Kingdom. Because from Magic Kingdom to the Contemporary, it's the first stop.
Right, and you only miss like 6 minutes of that loop by being at the Contemporary. So you're looking at a 14-minute ride on the monorail, plus however long you have to wait for the monorail to get there, which is often close to 6 minutes. So, it's a 20-minute trip. Or a 5-minute walk.
Right.
Leah just chimed in that there's a rumor that walking from the Contemporary to Magic Kingdom now has separate security bag check, which could make it quicker for you to get into the Magic Kingdom.
That would be fantastic.
It would be.
We saw,
There is that new...
It looked like they were starting to maybe set some things up. I know the boat launch had been closed for a while with the ferry. There was rumor that they were going to start screening guests at the Transportation and Ticket Center so that people coming in as day guests or, well, I wouldn't catch monorail resort. So I don't know how I guess they'd have to screen coming off of the monorail and the Transportation and Ticket and coming off of the ferry, or getting onto the ferry. I guess they could screen getting onto the ferry because there's no other stop. But then they would have to screen at the walkway for sure. But you're right, that would definitely make it faster because the people streaming in on the walkway are streaming in slower. They're not getting dumped off like a whole bus at a time or a whole monorail at a time.
That's true.
So that would, I really do hope they go to that kind of system because the way they have it now, it's kind of a disaster. Like the security at Magic Kingdom is just not fun.
Don't get her started.
Yeah. Do you want to tell your funny story?
No, it's not about the Contemporary. We're trying to stay on topic
okay,
here.
all right, fine. We're at the Contemporary. So, the Contemporary does have both the A-frame tower and 2 garden wings in addition to Bay Lake Tower, where you can stay on a cash reservation. You do not have to be a DVC member to stay at Bay Lake Tower. You do have to be a DVC member to use the Top of the World Lounge at the top of Bay Lake Tower. That gives a good view of the fireworks and has nice drinks and things. So just because you're staying at Bay Lake Tower, it would not give you access to be able to go up there. Where you can get great access to see the fireworks, though, is at California Grill. And honestly, we haven't done California Grill yet, but I'm guessing that the view from there would be better than it is at Top of the World because it's closer towards the Polynesian, so it's giving you a more straight-on view. Like when you watch the fireworks at Top of the World, they're literally over Space Mountain.
Okay.
So it's kind of meh, like it's if you've seen the fireworks in the park a bunch of times, it's kind of cool to go up there and see them from up higher. If you've never seen them before, it's not the place to watch them because they're askew. They're not over the castle where they're supposed to be. So I don't think the view up there is all that fantastic.
With California Grill, something I learned is that I always thought you had to see the fireworks, your reservation for dinner had to be during firework time.
Yep.
That is not the case. If you have dinner at any time of that evening, you hold on to your seat or have a special ticket.
Yep, and you can come back.
You can come back to California Grill that same evening to watch the fireworks from inside the restaurant, which I think is really cool. Because, of course, the music will be piped in to the restaurant, and I just think that's a great feature.
Right, so you get the whole experience by doing that. And like I said, I really do think, I haven't experienced it firsthand, but the angle on that view has to be a lot better than it is across at the tower.
Speaking of dining, isn't there a character meal at Contemporary?
Chef Mickey's.
I hand it to our character dining expert.
Yes, as most of you probably know, because I say it all the time, we love character meals. We've probably done almost all. We haven't done all of them, but we've done near all of them. Chef Mickey's has been on our list every single trip. It's Olivia's go-to. And we've done dinner there. You can do breakfast, we can do brunch, or you can do dinner. Characters are at every meal. And what's great about Chef Mickey's is you get to see Pluto, Goofy, Mickey, Minnie, and Donald. So it's...
You get them all in the same meal?
You get them all on the same meal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So...
I thought they rotated and they
No.
did like 3 characters a meal.
No.
Okay. Wow,
No.
that's really good. That's a haul.
Yeah. And as far as the meal itself, since we travel with a very picky eater, it's definitely... it's definitely...
Is it Fred?
It's definitely Fred.
I don't believe that for a second.
It's definitely the choices, especially for the kids, is one of the best in Disney World. Yeah.
Okay.
And this past November, we missed the lobster macaroni and cheese by 1 week, I believe it was, because we had it November of 2015, and I don't know how many times I went back for the lobster macaroni and cheese. It was so good. But Olivia will tell you the best part is the create your own sundae at the dessert bar.
Oh.
And along with ice cream.
Why have we not done this?
Along with the ice cream, there is probably I don't know, another table or two of just desserts like crazy. And they have a s'mores dessert, which of course I tried that one. S'mores tart, I believe it was. It was really good. But yeah, it's I can't say enough about it.
Is it all
That
you
sounds
care to eat,
awesome.
or is it?
It is a buffet.
Okay.
Yes, it is a buffet.
Okay.
I think Chef Mickey's a lot of times from the food critic sect of the Disney World visitors, it gets kind of a bad reputation for the food. I really think that has as much to do with it being a buffet as anything, because if you listen to the foodie folks, most of the restaurants that they're going to tell you they despise are buffets, and I think it really has as much to do with it's difficult to keep food fresh at a buffet, and you have people that are coming by and destroying the presentation of it, and it's in a pan, and it doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad.
No.
And everybody has different tastes, and I mean, who can't be hungry for some really good mac and cheese sometimes? I mean,
Lobster mac and
yeah,
cheese.
throw some lobster in there and go to town.
Don't
right?
make fun of the foodies. You need to book them travel to
No,
Disney.
I'm just, but I'm saying, I mean, everybody has different reasons for choosing the dining that they choose. So I don't think we can make this point enough. Just because you hear somebody tell you that they don't like a particular restaurant doesn't mean you should steer away from booking it. And the reason I bring this up is because I just today saw somebody on one of the forums, chat Facebook groups that I follow, post, "I've heard terrible things about Chef Mickey's. Is the food really that bad?" And of course, everybody chimes in with, "No, it's not. Go for the characters anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares about the food? You're going to a character meal,
Yep.
There are different reasons to do different types of dining. I hear about Hollywood and Vine over at Hollywood Studios all the time. People they call it Hollywood and Vile. I mean, terrible things that they say about it. I mean, we've only been there one time, and it was for a Star Wars character meal. And honestly, I wouldn't have cared if they only served mac and cheese and chicken tenders, because that was such an awesome character experience. Who even cares what the food was?
This past November, Hollywood and Vine was my favorite restaurant.
Yeah. We had an excellent meal there. I thought it was fantastic.
It is very well. We're not talking about
right, but I mean, it just
I'm sorry, get off topic, but
I mean, I think it's important in general that we share this. Like, just because your neighbor went and they oh, my meal at such and such was awful. First of all, everybody has an off night.
Yeah.
Second, every menu is not going to appeal to every single person's tastes. If it's a menu that appeals to you and your family, try it. It's not like Disney is not going to allow food to be put out that's of poor quality that consistently. I mean, like I said, everybody has an off night. Ben's gonna go discipline the cat. She's scratching the stairwell.
And one thing I tell clients too is that my trip is not going to be the same as your trip.
Right.
It's not going to be the same as your trip. It's
exactly. Everybody wants different things from their trip.
Absolutely.
And there's the best thing about Disney World is its diversity. Its ability to bring any kind of experience that you want.
Yes.
And you can have a completely immersive, totally kid-friendly experience. You can have a completely 100% adult experience. Yep. You can have a merger of the two. You can, you can see. Well, we saw it with the week that we talked about Festival of the Arts. We had Ryan and Amanda here who had just gone with their toddler. They couldn't have cared less about the art festival. In fact, they found like the festival got in the way of their fun at Epcot. Whereas the rest of us who had gone to the festival were gushing about it because we really enjoyed it from an adult perspective. So it's for people here who are very good friends and who often share opinions on things, came away with completely different experiences of the exact same event. So don't shy away from stuff just because somebody says that's not good. It's Disney. It's good. That's right. Yeah.
Except for Star Wars Bakery, I'm glad it's gone.
Sure.
Still better.
Yeah. If you'd have missed the Christmas party, you would have been too.
True.
But there isn't a Star Wars Bakery at the Contemporary. There is
There
Contempo
is
Cafe.
Contempo Cafe. Have you eaten at Contempo Cafe?
No, I've just seen Contempo Cafe.
Did you?
On your way to Chef Mickey's?
Did we stop there for a snack?
I think we
One
did
time?
when we stayed at Bay Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a meal there. I don't remember what we had the first time we stopped.
I don't either.
The meal I had.
But I
there
never.
was,
Don't take that as a commentary on it. I never remember any of that stuff. So
I write
unless
it
it's
all down.
Ohana. Are we starting a new podcast called the Ohana Cast?
I stopped at Contempo Cafe last February. I stopped in there and had dinner, and it was one of those nights. I wasn't really intending to have dinner there. I wanted to eat something that was more exciting and interesting, and I just ended up over at the Contemporary, and I was starving, and I was like, I'm just gonna go up in here and eat. So I had the salmon and broccoli and rice, and from a price point perspective, I thought it was outrageous. It was like $18 for a plate of salmon and broccoli and rice, and I think they served the same dish at Columbia Harbor House for like $13. So I got up to the register and they'd said 18 something, and I was like, what? However, that being said, that was probably the best fish I've ever eaten on Walt Disney World property. So
There you go.
I'm going to say quality-wise, Contempo Cafe gets an A+, based on that one meal. Price-wise, I do feel like they add a little something. I almost felt like, oh, you're at a deluxe resort, so your quick service is going to cost me more money. That, that kind of turned me off a little bit, but the quality really was good. So I would say if you're staying there, it's an okay place to eat, but you can probably find a better value elsewhere. It's no Earl of Sandwich. So, also in dining, the Wave of American Flavors.
Yes.
Is in the basement Contemporary.
Terrace level, I think they
Terrace.
call it
I think
when
it's
it's
like
the
the second.
basement
I think it's
and
the
you're
second
paying
floor.
for it.
I think it's, yeah. No, I think it's on the second floor. If I remember correctly.
Yeah. It's on the same floor as the convention center part, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a convention center area in there.
Right,
so,
which also means that you pay a surcharge to pick up a package that you have shipped to yourself,
yes,
because it's handled by a third party. So if you're doing Amazon Prime, or if you're shipping yourself a box via Postal Service or UPS, you'll pay based on the weight of that package an additional fee to pick it up. So just be aware of that. But but actually I heard. Sorry, this is off topic. I'm bad at that. But I actually heard recently that they're planning to do that at all resorts. Apparently, shipping yourself Prime and getting through the loophole of paying $3 a bottle for water is catching on. So I would expect to see a surcharge at all resorts to pick up a box that you ship to yourself. So just be aware of that if you are choosing that route to save on your snacks, on your water, on that kind of thing. That could become an issue in the future.
Leah is saying that the Wave for breakfast buffet was awesome.
Really?
And apparently it's Tea Contempo, I guess, or not Contempo Cafe. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Contempo Cafe
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just reading the comments.
All right. Okay.
Hi, Dina.
And
excuse me. I have to discipline the cat again.
Yeah. She's decided that the wooden post that holds the
It's 'cause
stair rail
Jeff's
up
not
is a
here.
scratching post, and so it's bad. She's not very well behaved. The other week she attacked Amy's feet, if you were watching that podcast. Poor Amy, the cat's like under there and she's like, oh my god, it just attacked me. So anyway, back to the Wave. We've only eaten there one time, and we were
a little rushed.
We were a little rushed, and honestly it was one of those experiences where I was really looking forward to it, because I thought it looked like they had some really unique dishes on their menu, and I was looking forward to trying something that wasn't standard, just what you can get anywhere. I was really disappointed in that particular meal. So
it doesn't stand out as exceptional.
No, it didn't to us at dinner. This was a dinner.
Yeah.
So I think we opted for some less expensive entrees, and I think that might have been kind of our downfall. I want to say we did like a butternut squash or something. And
it took a few trips to get the cheapskate out and actually pay for decent meals.
Yeah, and it's worth it to pay for decent meals. You should do it.
Olivia via Fred says hi, mommy.
Oh, hi, honey.
So the way, it's a place I would go back to and try again, because like we've said before, like I feel like you have to have at least 3 meals at a place before you can write it off completely and say that no, I'd never do this again.
Been to Ohana 3 times.
To write it off.
Oh, okay.
So Ohana's on the list forever.
Okay.
Yeah. So, food-wise, the only thing I want to double back to is California Grill. They also do a brunch at California Grill. That's relatively new.
On Sundays.
So on Sundays, yeah. And I understand that I want to say that the price point's somewhere in the neighborhood of $80, but includes mimosas.
I'm not sure.
I'm not 100% on that, but there are some. There's a menu plus a buffet component to that brunch, so that's an option if you're looking for something like really to celebrate a special occasion. Would be nice, like if you're doing a birthday or anniversary. That would probably be a great option if you're into brunch. So,
Contemporary also has a pretty good couple of gift shops, if I recall
They
correctly.
do. Yeah.
Yes.
They're very, very. The one's got the sorcerer's hat.
Right. The one is
And-
the Fantasia shop right in the
Yeah.
middle on the 4th floor.
And then right beside it is another huge gift shop. And when we were there just in November at Christmas, they probably had the widest variety of ornaments. And I love Christmas ornaments. And I think they had them in 3 different sections, actually. Like, you could go in one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
It was very nice. I could have blocked out with a couple things.
And the nice thing about all of this stuff is that you actually don't have to go anywhere for most of it because it's all in that big open area
Right.
right where the monorail comes in and right where the bridge comes in from the Bay Lake Tower. So you just walk in.
It's really very,
gift shop,
yeah,
like,
it's very
one
convenient
after the
to
other.
hop off the monorail, shop at the Contemporary for
California
a minute.
Grill is up top, and then we
Right.
said the wave is down below. So
Right.
yeah,
Chef
Chef Mickey's and
right on the
Contempo
same
are
floor.
right on the same floor.
they have
Yeah.
centralized your money spent for you.
Right. Also on the same floor is the arcade.
Yes,
And usually, I'm usually one to just bypass an arcade and not to give it a second thought.
it's true.
I love the arcade at the Contemporary. I know it sounds stupid. I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to go play in the arcade. I love that arcade. It's fantastic. I can spend an hour in there.
Let's go.
Okay. So if you are looking for, if you're into arcades and that's your thing, unfortunately you're not going to be able to go to Disney Quest for very much longer. I think July that's closing.
I think yeah.
And they're putting some NBA something or other in there.
Yeah, the NBA experience.
Whatever. So if you're still in need of an arcade experience at Disney, Contemporary is a great option for you.
Yeah, especially helps on those rainy days where you don't feel like,
Right, braving the parks maybe the whole day.
or necessarily even braving the bridge across to go back to
Right.
Bay Lake Tower. One of the things that I really enjoyed when we stayed at Bay Lake Tower is we had an excellent view.
We did.
We had a really good view. We were actually able to catch both a little bit of the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom and some of the electric water pageants. So that was really,
the electric
really
water
neat.
pageant went right by our room, which is really
Oh,
cool.
that's
Yeah.
We had a lake view. And, that's
That's
a
awesome.
really good thing to point out. Theme park view is probably the most desired thing when you're going to the Contemporary. Well, if you're at Bay Lake Tower, the theme park view can be useful if you're on the upper floors because you can actually see the theme park. If your theme park view at the Contemporary, it's not that tall, so you're really going to have it's really going to be kind of obscured until you're up in those very upper floors. The lake view, on the other hand, is gorgeous out the back of Bay Lake. And even if you're in the garden view section, try to get a lake view room because you can see across the Wilderness Lodge. Depending on how high you are, we could see the ball at Epcot, and at that time the hat at Hollywood Studios. It was in the distance. It was this big, but just the fact that you could see those other parks from all the way up at Magic
That's
Kingdom,
cool.
it was pretty neat.
Was that where we saw the duck in the swimming pool, or is that someplace else?
No, that was a beach club.
Okay.
Yeah. But speaking of swimming pools,
Yep.
Contemporary has 2.
They have 2 swimming pools, and for your water slide,
All your water slide news.
yes. I couldn't find the actual length of the water slide, but it is.
And I think there are 2.
Yes.
There's one at Bay Lake and there's one in the Contemporary pool, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. But the one at Bay Lake, I'm sorry, the Contemporary pool is 17 feet high, but I did not get a length.
The length, yes.
So sorry about that.
Well,
I feel bad. I'm not.
We've never done the one at the Contemporary pool. We didn't swim in the Contemporary pool. We swam at the Bay Lake pool. The water slide at the Bay Lake pool. If you're an adrenaline junkie, that is the water slide for you. I was petrified. I like the nice little water slide at Old Key West in the Sandcastle.
I don't know, that
The
thing,
one at Bay
that
Lake
thing
Tower
corkscrews. I don't know how I feel about that.
The one at Bay Lake Tower was scary. You hit the water with force. It was horrifying. I only went down at one time. So I'm guessing that it's longer and taller than the one in the Contemporary pool.
That's funny. They also have a splash playground, which for the little kids, I think they're wonderful because you're not in a
They're
kiddie
not
pool.
submerged.
Yes, and there's I know Olivia just loved splash playgrounds because they get excited when the water comes up out of the ground,
Right.
unexpectedly, and it's fun, and I feel much safer for the little ones, and you're not in a kiddie pool,
Right.
and we all know what happens there. So And the Bay Lake pool, they have a quiet pool, but it's open to all ages. So even though it means quiet pool, it does not mean it's adult only. The children can go, but I guess there's no splashing and roughhousing and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So.
I mean,
No
in theory.
frolicking.
In theory. I mean, let's be real. There
They're not gonna
are a
keep
lot
it
of families. There are a lot of kids. If you splash around a little bit, nobody's going to get upset about it. Or if they do, then
out.
whatever.
Now, can anybody use the Bay Lake pool?
I'm not 100% sure about
Because
that.
I feel like I read that only Bay Lake Tower guests can use the Bay.
You
Lake
might be
pool.
correct on that.
So
I know that you can't pool hop to the Bay Lake pool from other properties. So,
Right.
so that is one of the DVC perks is you can pool hop. Except you can't pool hop to any of the cool pools anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I know Bay Lake is one that you can't. So I don't know if Contemporary, if you can or if you can use it if you're staying in Contemporary or not.
okay.
Because like at Beach Club, for example, you can use Stormalong Bay regardless of whether you're at Beach Club or Beach Club DVC. So
Gotcha.
it doesn't make a difference there. And Polynesian, the same deal, and Wilderness Lodge, the same deal. Like you can use the feature pool regardless.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't answer that 100% for sure. But
So-
the Contemporary pool's really nice too. So it's not like you wouldn't look at the Bay Lake pool and be like, oh, I wish I could swim there. I mean, you might go over to the volcano pool at the Polynesian and be like, oh, I wish I could swim there. But otherwise, no, you're going to be fine. And there are other waterborne activities at the Contemporary.
Mhm.
To me, the greatest of which is the water taxi that runs between Wilderness Lodge and Contemporary and Fort Wilderness.
That's awesome.
Very, very nice little trek around there. And I don't know how often they switch boat captains and what routes they're on, but we ran into the absolute coolest boat captain ever on that route. He was Marty, the singing boat captain.
Oh, yes.
So the entire trip, he was singing us songs from the attractions, songs from
Aww.
movies, and he was actually a really good singer. So it wasn't like, oh gosh, this guy is singing and my ears are bleeding. No, Marty, the singing boat captain, is amazing. So if you ever have an opportunity to ride that route, just ride it all day till you find Marty. It's totally worth it.
They also have motorboats,
Watercraft rentals
Yep,
and things.
yes.
Yep.
And fishing, if anyone does do fishing. Tennis courts. They have a jogging
Yes.
trail.
The jogging trail is terrible.
Is it?
Terrible. It's all concrete. There's no break from it at all. And it literally just runs around the buildings.
That's why I don't jog.
And it's bad. Don't stay there if you're running a race and you need to train first, because it's definitely not a good time. My feet were hurting bad after that one.
Aw. And of course they do the movies under the stars, just like almost all the resorts do, and they do
And I think they're
campfires
really
too.
close to the pool area. And the campfire is on the jogging trail.
Oh, is it?
I definitely, while I was out we stayed there the year that I ran the 10-miler.
Okay.
So I did one run at each of the resorts that we were at, and when I did the run there, they were just getting ready to toast marshmallows for the
Oh,
evening.
sure,
So,
how convenient.
well, yeah, I mean, I just ran 2 miles, whatever. I got a marshmallow.
Very convenient.
It was.
Oh, goodness.
Contemporary rooms. There are 633 regular rooms, 23 suites, and 428 villas. So a lot of opportunities, over 1,000 rooms, and the rooms range anywhere from a standard view in the garden view villas at $3-something a night, up to the presidential suite on New Year's Eve is like $10,000
Yeah.
a night. So there's a huge range at the Contemporary as far as opportunities to get a room there, and different categories and different ways to enhance your stay. They also have a club level lounge, which I think all of the deluxe resorts have. So you do have an opportunity to stay club level, which gives you access to hors d'oeuvres, drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, snacks throughout the day. So not enough to replace a meal for most people, but definitely enough to grab a snack here and there. So you're not using snacks in the parks and go out for a drink. And so They do accommodate 5 guests in a standard room at the Contemporary, so you don't have the same issue that you would have at, say, a value resort if you're a family of 5 and all of a sudden, oh gosh, what do I do with this 5th person?
Someone's sleeping in the hall.
Right, so like the moderates, you can get a 5th person in the room. And at 437 square feet, there's plenty of room for that 5th person. I mean, everybody has ample space to be able to move around. The rooms come in configurations of 2 queens or a king plus a daybed, so you have a lot of different options as far as how to sleep those 5 people. And the suites, the 1-bedrooms are 1,300 square feet, which, if you think about me, most people know the square footage of this place they live, and I'm guessing if you live in an apartment, it's bigger than your apartment. And the 2 bedrooms are 1,892 square feet, which are almost as big as our house. So definitely ample space to spread out. You can sleep up to 10 people in the 2-bedroom.
Wow.
So, and the configuration there is a little bit nicer. Some of the other 2-bedroom layouts, they'll have a king bed in one room and 2 queens in the other. These 2 bedrooms have 2 queens in each bedroom.
That's nice.
And a queen fold out in the living room. So when we're talking 10 people, that's 2 per bed, 10 people. Mm-hmm. And then you've also got the extra couch in the living room, which you can't technically book an 11th person, but your 2 people in the living room could easily sleep on separate couches. So you know, if you have singles in your group or you have kids in your group, it's definitely, sleeping arrangement wise, there are a lot of really good configurations there in the 2-bedroom. So, did we talk about the garden wing really?
I think you mentioned it.
I mentioned it briefly.
You just mentioned it, yeah.
The least expensive rooms in the Contemporary are going to be in the garden wing, which are out on Bay Lake. They're very, very close to the main building, so you're not talking about walking a very large distance to get into where the shops are, to where the food is at. It's very conveniently located. I mean, think about the 2-mile jogging trail that goes around the Contemporary. It literally circles both buildings and then goes over and circles Bay Lake Tower. So it's all very convenient. Probably a 1/10 of a mile or less from the farthest garden view room into the Contemporary. They sit a little bit lower, so you're not going to get those sweeping panoramic views of the lake on that side, but that's so the people in the tower still have a lake view. And then inside the tower, of course, you're going to see the price point go up a little bit more because it is more convenient, and that's what the bulk of what you pay for at Disney is the convenience of the location,
right.
How many steps away you are from something. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's...
And your mode of transportation.
Right, exactly. So that's where a lot of your value is going to be derived from your accommodations at a deluxe resort. Yes, the amenities are nice, but honestly, the location is everything. Mm-hmm. It's just like any other real estate. You can't beat being able to wake up and walk to the park instead of waiting 15 minutes for a bus. In 15 minutes, you're literally through security and in the front gate. So, I mean,
that works.
Yeah,
it's
definitely the Contemporary's best feature.
Absolutely,
is being able to walk to the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
Since that's my favorite park, obviously, being
right.
Walking back and forth is great.
It's honestly the only reason that I would choose to stay at the Contemporary, because as far as the accommodations there and the amenities that the resort features, I prefer the amenities at the other deluxe resorts. So the Contemporary wouldn't honestly be my first choice for accommodations, you know, if I'm gonna stay in a deluxe. However, factoring in that you can walk to the Magic Kingdom is pretty darn nice.
Yeah.
If you're considering doing any of the tours at Magic Kingdom, Contemporary is a really great option, because especially the Magic Behind the Steam Trains tour starts at 7:45 a.m.
But it's really cool.
A.m.
It's really cool.
And of course they want you there 15 minutes ahead of time. So you're talking needing to be at Magic Kingdom at 7:30. Transportation starts running at like 7:15. So it's very, very difficult to meet that time frame without getting a taxi or using Uber or doing something like that if you're somewhere besides the Contemporary, because that's literally the only resort that you can walk to Magic Kingdom from. Mm-hmm. So there's that. All right. Do we have any other thoughts about Contemporary? Did we miss anything?
Well, we stayed in Bay Lake Tower because we are
we've been talking about
DVC
the rooms.
members. Yeah, we're on the room zone to talk about the rooms. I was not impressed with the rooms at Bay Lake Tower. Mm-hmm. It felt like a very nice cruise ship room. I have nothing against cruise ship rooms if they're on the cruise ship, but if I'm paying for staying at a hotel on land at the happiest place on earth, I
want
feel
a
like my
little more
room
space.
should be a little bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, they were tiny.
They were tiny.
For sure.
It had, like, I really felt like the kitchen was completely outsized for what was in, like.
Yeah, it was a galley kitchen. So it was, instead of just being pushed off to one side and taking up, like, literally, like, the width of a microwave and
Right.
refrigerator.
It was actually its own little section.
Right,
Like,
the kitchen had, like,
5
counter
feet.
space.
Yeah.
But there was no room in the room.
Yeah.
So it was not a good layout. The rooms in the Contemporary and the actual buildings at almost 500 square feet are tremendously better.
Yeah.
Tremendously better than the rooms in Bay Lake Tower.
Yeah.
I would really hesitate to stay at Bay Lake Tower again.
Agreed.
Honestly. It just, and because the building's curved, you walk in and the room starts out very narrow and then it does fan out a little bit, but it's,
Yeah.
I don't love it. The balcony was awesome. The
Yes.
view from the balcony was fantastic, and being just slightly claustrophobic.
Just
Okay, I'm
slightly.
a lot claustrophobic.
You're selectively claustrophobic.
I'm extremely claustrophobic. I spent a lot of time on the balcony when we were in that room because I was definitely happier being outside and being able to see the wide open space than I was crammed in that little tiny room.
Yeah, I like a lot of space too, but I'm not claustrophobic or anything, but I definitely felt like this is kind of tiny.
Yeah.
So, I can't recommend the rooms unless you somehow get concierge level. I'm sure they're wonderful up there. I drool at
Or
them
I mean,
as
if
we
you
go up the top of the
would
world.
choose like a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom.
Oh yeah, there's that.
In that building, that would be not too bad. But yeah, definitely the studios are not fantastic there. There are way better studios if you want to stay in Vacation Club accommodations, which you can book through the Magic Shores. So we're able to book that, but not on DVC points if you're a DVC member. We can only book a cash reservation at a DVC property. So,
I think maybe we need to talk about your favorite thing about the Contemporary.
what's my favorite thing?
The 5-legged goat.
Oh, the 5-legged goat! I love the 5-legged goat.
I know.
That's actually kind of our closing fun fact for today.
Oh, okay.
So, do we have any other
I was just gonna mention the mural too.
going
So-
once, going twice?
I was
Okay,
just gonna go
all
mural.
right. Mural.
Mural it is.
So our pins here are 5-legged goat, and actually on our gingerbread pin there's a 5-legged goat because he's kind of the unofficial mascot of the Contemporary. And if you watch our live feeds that we did from Disney World, you already know this story. But if you didn't, we'll fill everybody else in. Mary Blair, who was one of Walt Disney's go-to Imagineers, she designed It's a Small World. So you probably either love or hate Mary Blair now, thanks to that information.
Did she write the song?
No,
Okay,
the Sherman
fine.
Brothers wrote the song.
Those
she
guys.
designed all the little children. She actually had a design for the facade too, and her design got ousted for one that Raleigh Crump designed. And I don't know if there was some bad blood there or not, but Mary Blair's design got chucked. So I guess it was too cutesy. I don't know. But anyway, Mary Blair also was the chief illustrator for the Little Golden Books. So if you ever read any of Disney's Little Golden Book series and wondered why the characters had kind of a stylized presentation in those books, that was Mary Blair's artwork. So I think that's kind of a fun thing because that nobody remembers that kind of stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Mary Blair loved this little 5-legged goat that she created. And the reason her goat has 5 legs is because nothing is perfect. So Mary Blair was huge on making sure that there was always a intentional imperfection in all of her artwork so that we'd be a little bit more forgiving of the unintentional imperfections. So that's the 5-legged goat. And he is actually... gosh, we found him and it took us forever. He's on the monorail side.
He's on the monorail
He's
side,
on the monorail side of the mural. So the mural's actually 4-sided. It's on a pillar, and the pillar runs up beside the monorail track, and then when you go down to the 4th floor, you can walk the whole way around it. And you'll see a bunch of these little guys, little goats, but most of them have 4 legs, except for the one on the monorail side that's got 5. So if you, next time you're on the monorail, check out the 5-legged goat and... give a little nod to Mary Blair.
Yeah. So kind of like starting our live cast without any sound. Nothing's perfect.
Nothing's perfect.
At least we caught 15 minutes in and not.
Right.
I think it was only like 8 minutes.
If you haven't tuned in for all of our shows, we re-recorded one entire show that wasn't recording one time, and we had to go back and re-record the entire thing. So we're getting I hope that we're getting more technically competent, but I really can't guarantee it. So keep tuning in because you never know what kinds of strange and unusual things we'll do.
Oh, what's next week's topic?
Yeah,
next week's topic is Port Orleans French Quarter.
Ooh, donuts.
Yeah, and remember, if you go out to our website under the events page, you can always check and see what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So thanks for tuning in tonight, guys, and we'll see y'all real soon.
Bye.